Hi, my name is Andrew Stedman, and today I'm talking about public schooling versus homeschooling. Now, the reason why I picked this is because me and my wife, we have two children, and we want what's best for our children. I was for public schooling to begin with. She was for homeschooling, and she just blew me away with some of the stuff that she read up on and whatnot. And now she won the argument, she won the debate, and there is absolutely no way that I feel that my kids get an advantage by going to public school. Three things I'm going to talk about is flexibility, socialization, and an academic study between the both. Now, first I'm going to hit is flexibility. We all know that public schools are pretty structured. You stand out in the bus stop at 6:30 in the morning. You get to school about 7:30, then you're doing your hour and a half per period or block or whatnot, and you come home about 4 o'clock. Well, homeschooling, there's none of that. You can take your kids out to field trips, you can go to the park, you really give them that break, you really can flex your schedule for the child's best learning. And as you know, that there's only 2 times during the day that we all learn better. There's been studies about that, so you can really take advantage of a lot of that stuff. Now, there is, like, let's say flexibility for the learning aspect of it. Let's say your child's really big into science. Well, you can really hit on their science. Let's face it, kids learn better when they're interested. They just retain the information better. So, yeah, it's not just an hour and a half of science. The child only liking half his day at school. At home, you can make the whole day fun, and fun means learning. The second thing I want to talk about is socialization. Most people were, let's face it, I thought that homeschool children are introverted, they don't like to socialize, all that good stuff. I just thought, nope, not gonna happen. I don't want my children to be raised like that. But come to find out, there's a lot of third-party programs that the state creates. Children that are homeschooled have a bunch of they got sports programs. They have academic programs like speech, debate, chess, etc. You can put your kids in, and these programs allow the students to compete against public schools. I, for one, have seen debate between public schools and homeschool. When you got a child that's really into debating, and you can hit more onto it, as in you can specialize into it, they really blow away these public schools. I mean, blow them away. I've seen it firsthand. You can get all the homeschool children together. You can do a big mass field trip to save money on going to a museum or whatnot. Let's face it, it's better. The third thing I want to talk about is there's been academic studies about children and test results between public schools and homeschools. Come to find out that 90% of the students in public schools, in a particular school, we're not saying all of them, but in a school that was studied, 90% of the students scored a 3 out of 5 on their standardized testing. Pretty much a 3 is proficient or below grade level, which I'm sure you all can agree that's not good. A closer look at the results showed that only 60% of the students were actually passing, which, again, that's a horrible percentage. Now, there are students that have never been homeschooled, only 20% of them had A's, 69% with B's, and 11% with C's. And when they were asked about their college experience, 45% stated that, 20% of those who attended public schools and thought their college experience was fun. Now, 45% of the homeschool children enjoyed being at college. And so, as you know, homeschooling with the state and whatever, the regulations vary state to state and whatnot. So, there was a test done about these different regulations, and regardless of the test, of the regulations and restrictions and whatever, the test results for homeschool children, regardless of the regulations, scored in the average of 86th percentile, which I can, well, that's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? And there was a study by Dudnovsky on 185 students. Out of the 185, 150 had homeschooling. Of those 150 students, 45% had A's, 47% had B's, and 6% had C's. So as you can see, just the percentages on A, B's, and C's between homeschools and public schools, I would have to say homeschool is much better. So personally, I want my kids to learn. I want them to retain information. I want them to have the best chance at college. And I'm sure you all can agree that just those percentages alone blows away public schools. Now, the three things that I hit on is flexibility. How homeschool, you can be more flexible. Your schedule is your schedule. It's not 6:30 to 4 o'clock like public schools are. You can even make it, homeschool can be all year round if you really wanted to. Learning doesn't have to stop. You don't got that summer break where you forget, brain dump everything that you learned for the year. Socialization. I talked about how, socialization can be a problem for public school kids. They socialize more, so grades drop. Homeschool children, there's programs out there ran by the state and the counties and whatnot that allows these homeschool children to socialize with other homeschool children and even compete against public schools. So, where's the loss in that? The third thing is the academic studies. Let's face it, those percentages say it all. There's no way to argue that, and that's what won me over. Now, I have included in the PowerPoint a link to a hub page. My wife put this down on paper because she felt that most people need or should have the knowledge. We're not trying to persuade you that say public school is better. Well, all we're saying is there's an advantage to homeschooling, a huge advantage, and it's something that should be really be looked into. I have some citations. You guys can actually pull up those those books and whatnot, and really read into it. I think that after you guys read into it all, you're gonna find that homeschooling is much better. So, I'm for homeschooling.